Again, my name's Ed Malek, law firm Malek and Malek. I guess I'm the senior member here. I've been working on practice, having left the prosecutor's office some decades ago, and then into criminal law, now into personal injury and workers' comp. That's what we primarily do. What I'd like to talk to you about is that when after you have had an accident, when the facts of the accident are vivid in your mind, you ought to write down a narrative. Now, I know everyone isn't as quite as good about writing or preserving the actual facts, but then have someone else dictate it to your child or your spouse if they're better, or someone else, a brother, sister in your family, that they can help you compile this. But you should talk about the exact facts of the accident. For instance, you're driving which direction? Where did the other car come from? Did you know it was coming at you? When were you first aware of? These are just factual situations. But more importantly, what happened to you in the impact? Were you thrown to left, right, backwards, forward, and to the side? Did you strike your head? Did you strike, what portions of your body were stricken in any interior portion of the car? And if you struck your head, that's really important because brain injuries are really, really debilitating and are very important, and should be very important to you and might affect you economically in the future, can really curtail your abilities to work, your abilities to relate to people, and such injuries as PTSD and injuries which police officers, not police officers, but professional athletes oftentimes experience during the brutal games, football games. But nonetheless, you should write all this down. And the purposes of writing it down is, number one, for your memory. But you should also write it down, and then synthesize the facts, but write down in some detail your symptoms. How did you immediately feel? Did you hit your head? Were you dizzy? Did you lose any type of consciousness, even for a second? Did you have brain fog? Did you for any period of time lose contact with reality? What portion of your body did you have the initial complaint? Then that night, that evening, or for the next couple of days, where did it get worse? Is it low back, leg? Did you strike your leg on anything? Did your leg twisted? Did you have prior injuries with your leg? Do you have arthritis in your leg? Depends upon your age. We all have arthritis, and as we get older, all these injuries become much more, even though we're older and supposed to be able to endure the injuries, they are much harder on the body, much harder on you, and can be much more long-lasting and debilitating. So now, with that written information, you want to take that information pertaining to your symptoms and the facts to each one of your doctors, so each one of your doctors is on the same page. Your attorney should help you do this, and sometimes does, and sometimes perhaps does not, but it's a very good idea. So every one of your doctors is on the same plane. One doctor doesn't talk about something else, which they may think is primary source of injury, and the other doctor misses a part of your injury. So get every one of your physicians, take that statement with you to every one of your physicians. As to the emergency room, obviously you're going to be in the emergency room within a day or two, or maybe not. But the emergency room doctors don't always register all the complaints which are afflicting you. They just want you to get you about the most severe and supposedly get you out of the hospital quickly. So they're not the best recorder of the full statement of your injuries. Oftentimes, the insurance company will say, "Oh, you didn't mention that to the emergency room," but you probably did, but they, in their haste or their overwhelmed with patients, didn't take it down correctly. So it's important to note that. So this is another suggestion for Malek and Malek Law Firm. Thank you very much for this opportunity.